here at the federal courthouse because the demands of the organization is like the organization of Black struggle in St. Louis, including a full, transparent, and impartial investigation into the murder of a young Michael Brown. Not just an investigation into the over-policing of protesters, community members, and the media over the last week. The organization of Black struggle has been an all-volunteer organization fighting police brutality in St. Louis over 35 years. We are here in solidarity with our sisters and brothers organizing in Missouri and throughout the nation. As a Black man who's born outside of the United States, I always ask, why police officers, white police officers, are so eager to kill and murder young Black men and brown men in this country? And I come to the conclusion, they do so because they know they are supported. They know that they are not held accountable. They know that they are protected by the system and the structures of governments we have and overall the society. That is my conclusion. Let us change this. Let us unite it as a community who cares justice for all. Let us unite it to end racial profiling. Let us unite it demanding for justice for Michael Brown and all other young men who's been murdered. Let us invest our youth. Let us create an opportunity instead of killing them. I would like to call now our representative, Lew Fredricks, who is going to make a few remarks on this event.
Thank you, but I got to tell you, I don't want to be here. We've been here too many times before. We've talked about what we can do. We've talked about what we can't do. We've talked about the kinds of problems that lead up to this, and we're still here. We're back. How is that possible? Well, it's possible because we really haven't had the kind of impact that we need to have. We are seeing. We're seeing. You can't hear me. How's that? Is that better?
He's a politician. Of course you can hear him.
No, I'm a former actor. You should be able to hear me back there. There was a young kid who I've known since he was about yay high, who lives in my neighborhood, and he once told me that he wanted to become a police officer. And so we talked about that, and and then about 5 years ago, he came to me, and by that time he was about 12 years old, and he said to me, you told me that if I ever got in trouble, all I needed to do was go to a police officer and they would help me. But if I go to them now, will they shoot me? He said that 5 years ago. He's 17 now, which means he is now so scary to some people who are supposed to be protecting him that they will shoot him first. And for a Black man, I know that I'm literally one bullet away from being shot when I go back into my neighborhood. I know that. And yet, we still have this kind of thing going on. And there's a level of occupation that's involved here. It's a militarism that is an occupation. And there are folks who show up and they believe that that is their job. Their job is to not stand to be supporting the people in the community, to serve and keep them safe, but to be a barrier, to be a wall. And we're seeing that wall right now in Ferguson. And we're seeing that wall as part of just a basic concept of how we deal with justice and support across this country. Now, you know, 9/11, we ended up getting all sorts of money for tanks and personnel carriers. But what do we need a bazooka for? Why do we need machine guns that can kill 100 people at one shot, one pull of the trigger? We don't need that. But that's what that's what we have going on right now across this country. And it is time for us to not just be at a march, at a rally, or even sending a letter to the editor. It is time to be saying to the other political leaders of our time, the mayors, the county commissioners, the city commissioners, the governors, the president, all of these folks need to hear, enough. We have had enough. It is time to say, stop. You have gone down too far this path. It is time to just stop and say, no, we're not going any further here. That's gonna take a lot of time for us to do, but it's something that we've got to be thinking about, because right now, I'm tired of doing these conversations. I'm tired of sitting here. When was the last time we were here? Joanne, was it a few months ago?
And last summer.
And last summer, right? And then we had another one, and then we had another one, and then we had another one. Enough! I have had enough. I know you've had enough. It is time to get something done here and to let people know we will not continue this way. I don't want to see you folks again. I mean, I like your faces and everything, but I really don't want to see you folks again.
Not at another rally.
Not at a rally like this. Let's get something else done, and let's be effective. I can do all sorts of things that I'm trying to do in the bills and the legislature, and that you can do only so much. There's an attitude we've got to get to. There's an approach we've got to really start working on, and we've got to let people know that we have in fact had enough.
Let's give hands on Kathleen Saadat.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm glad you're here, since we have to be here. I was born in 1940 in St. Louis, Missouri. Watching the TV set, it was all I could do not to put my head on my knees and weep. Just weep. So I've lived through the 50s and the radical movements in the 60s and 70s, and I've worked on a lot of them, and I'm standing here today, and I am so tired.
Yes.
I said I was born in 1940. That means I'm old and tired. I want something from you. If you think you came to save me today, go home.
That's right.
If you know you came to save your own life, be here and get busy. You heard our rep talk about things you need to do, and you need to do them with the elected officials, and that's easier than what else you need to do, which is do them with your family. Do them in your living room. Talk about it. Don't get into parallel red herring arguments. The issue around Michael is not whether he took some cigars. If that were the case, then all those people who stole all that money from all the Americans trying to buy homes would have been shot in the street in the middle of the day. Don't be confused. Don't be confused. This is wrong. And you need to say it with every cell in your body. And you need to say it where it's hard. You need to say it where people won't like you for saying it. All right. Thank you. Do it.
Our next speaker I was hoping to call earlier, but it's someone that doesn't need introduction in this movement. It's someone who is tirelessly walked it hard, walked it miles and miles to pursue justice for all. Whether it's immigrant rights, whether it's racial justice, whether it's economic justice. But more importantly, has really walked it in this state and this city to ensure that we have police accountability. Please let me call Dr. Leroy Hayes.
Hands up!
Don't shoot!
Hands up!
Don't shoot!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Hands up!
Don't shoot!
Hands up!
Don't shoot!
Hands up!
Don't shoot!
Hands up!
Don't shoot!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Hands up!
Don't shoot!
Hands up!
Don't shoot!
The execution of Michael Brown. We stand together to say to this nation, to those officials in power, to those police authorities, to elected officials, that we are not animals. We are human beings. Human beings that are citizens of this nation. And we desire to be treated as citizens of this nation and not to be racial profiled, to be executed on a street like an animal. We come today to voice a spirit of justice and to say that we want justice for Michael Brown. Not later, but right now. You see, one of the first things they do when someone is unjustly shot, they begin to attack their character, pull out the criminal records. We never hear the record first of the police, but we always hear the record of the victim. And they begin to attack every aspect of the victim. We say, whatever the evidence come out on that, these are two separate situations. They're like apple and oranges. The chief of police himself said that the officer had not even heard that there was a robbery. But he was looking at the issue of get off the street. And at that same time, this young son of Ferguson began to raise his hand and was shot down in execution style. We know about this narrative important. We know about Kendra James. We know about Jose Mita. We know about James Chassie. We know about Aaron Campbell. We know what it is in our own city. Go through this same narrative over and over again. But we come today that say enough is enough. We will march on City Hall. We will march on the police station. We will march on the justice, the federal courts, or whatever is needed. Bring a halt to this injustice. It is time we begin to create a new America. It is time that we leave behind the racial injustice of the past. It is time that we forge ahead the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King,
dream of a just and equal society, a dream of the beloved community, a dream that was born in pain and suffering, a dream that was born in blood, a dream that was born in thousands of men and women of all colors and creeds, that went to jail and went to prison, and some even lost their mind. Say that America can be better. And we call upon you today to take a stand, to make a commitment. And injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. We call upon you today to be a shared participant in this movement for freedom, in this movement for justice, in this movement for equality. It won't stop until the people raise up and say, enough is enough.
That's right.
Repeat after me, say, enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Furthermore, it is time that we look at the militarization of our police force. Policeman asked me in an interview, asked me and say, is there any difference between Portland and Ferguson?
No.
I say, well, we're marching in Portland. We're struggling in Portland.
That's right.
Yes.
We're pushing the Justice Department in the City Hall.
Yes.
Do what they know is right.
Yes.
Do what they know is just. But also we know that we've gone through the same pain.
Yes.
We've gone through the same struggle.
Yes.
We've gone through the same difficulty. When Occupy was marching, we saw a semblance of that militarization in our own city.
Yes.
And so we got to put a halt to this.
Yes.
We have to say that our First Amendment rights should be respected, that the people of this city, the people of this nation should have a right to petition their government, a right to protest, without having armored vehicles march down the street, without having machine guns pointed at them, without having snipers pointed at them. We are saying that we are a marching army, that we will make America free. We will make America a just society. We will make America an equal society. And we're not going away.
Now I want to call someone that I worked closely throughout the City Hall and know that she's someone who is dedicated to ensuring the city of Portland works for all. Maybe she's the only voice, maybe she's not, but all I know that I call her a good friend and someone that I know she cares a lot. Let me call now to the podium my friend Amanda Fritz.
Good afternoon, thank you for being here. I am here as a white woman because I could not be here. And I think every one of us who have my skin color who are here because what happened in Ferguson is not okay with us.
Right.
And I'm seeing the sign that this woman is holding, what if your kid is next? Well, Michael Brown was our kid. He was an American kid. And when we have the struggle for the kids in Nigeria, for the young women who were kidnapped, it's bring back our girls. It's not bring back their girls, it's bring back our girls.
Yes.
So these are our kids, and it's not okay with me that children are dying, that anybody is dying on our streets because of the color of their skin. You know what? This event doesn't have a permit. We're in a Portland park and we don't have a permit. I'm at an illegal event right here. And you know why? Because it needed to be organized really fast, and we couldn't get it done. But when I talked about it in City Hall with my park staff, with the police, everybody was doing what this young man here is nodding, because we understand that this needs to happen. People need to be able to get out and show our support for those folks who are dying. We need to show that what happened in Missouri is not okay, and your being here shows that you agree with me that it's not okay. My question is, where is everybody else? So just like all of our struggles, I mean, Representative Frederick talked about being tired of coming to rallies. Let's not get tired of coming to rallies as long as there is injustice. Because otherwise, if we all just decide we can't do anything about it, that's certainly not going to change things. So as an organizer myself, you might think that you can't change anything. Staying home is not going to change anything.
Thank you.
So you have my commitment that I will continue working as hard as I can, both here and whatever we can do. I think just by being here, we're showing that it's not okay with the people of Portland what happened in Ferguson. It's not okay what happened for Michael Brown. My heart grieves for his mother, and I hope she is somewhat comforted by knowing that others care about what happened there. Thank you for being here.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
You know, this movement is cross the lines of all color, culture, religious affiliation, sexual orientation, and all the other movements. I don't know how many of you know, but believe either yesterday or last few days, a father of 3 children, a man by the name of Omar Abergo, was beaten to death in LA in front of his house. Literally beaten to death and hit by the LAPD.
What?
And in front of his house, he left 3 children and wife and grieving community. And his funeral will be held next week. So here we go, another one just being killed. He was from work. He just left work. That's what the media reported. Well, he was wearing his uniform clothes that he left from his work. So I'd like to call now Nico Quintana, who is Racial Justice Director at the Basic Rights of Oregon.
Si se puede.
Sí, sí se puede.
I stand here as a Latino transgender guy from Oregon. I began as an organizer with Pecun and Western States when I was 16. I came out as transgender when I was very young and became active because my community in Oregon was under attack and was dying. Brown, black, transgender, and gay young people when I was a kid were being targeted by police and violence by communities. I come back and Oregon is still the same in a lot of ways. Brown and black young people, LGBT and non-LGBT youth are still targeted. I'm standing here today in solidarity, talking for Basic Rights Oregon, which is a statewide LGBT organization. Many people don't think that police brutality is also an LGBT issue. It is. We stand in solidarity to say the violence must end. We stand in solidarity with Ferguson. We stand in solidarity with you all and everyone across the nation to say racism must end. Racist cops need to be held accountable. And this is an issue that affects all of our communities. This is an LGBT issue. This is a justice issue. This is a human rights issue. The violence must end. Thank you.
And now I would like to call Michael Alexander, the CEO of Urban League of Portland.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
When I heard the news of the tragic killing of Michael Brown, I reached out to my counterpart in St. Louis, Michael Montgomery, who runs the Urban League there, just to say that I knew he would need the support of all of us who do this work, because this was going to be the most important thing that he would have to address in the days and weeks and months to come. I finally heard back from him last night, and here's what he said. Don't believe what you see on TV.
That's right.
He says it's not a matter of black folks being angry in Ferguson and St. Louis. Brown folks are angry.
That's right.
Red folks are angry.
That's right.
Gay and lesbian, transgender folks are angry. White folks are angry. It's not communities of color who are outraged. It's communities of conscience who are outraged. And if there's ever a reason for a cogent reminder about why this assembly does the work that we do around equity and racial profiling and justice and the elimination of bias and bigotry, the killing of Michael Brown should have us not only say, don't shoot, but don't stop. Don't stop challenging every barrier that we face in giving everyone in this city and this state the ability to live the life that everyone else has. Free of threats, free of bias, free of profiling, free of the risk of death, free of the fear that a force charged to police us will now become a military force charged to eliminate us. That is critical. And I would hope that everyone here will not only not stop, but get somebody else with you. As we used to say in my neighborhood in Brooklyn, tell somebody. Amanda is right. We should have thousands here, not hundreds. And whether that happens is going to be contingent upon the people who are committed to this work day in and day out. Thank you.
Our last speaker doesn't need introduction. Again, it's someone who is also dedicated, fighting for justice for all. Please, let me welcome Ann Hardesty. What do we want? Justice! What do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! What do we want it? Now!
I don't want us to get confused.
All right.
Many people came here today because they wanted to talk about how the police are becoming militarized and now have tanks and weapons of mass destruction.
That's right.
But I don't want you to get confused, because in communities of color, regardless of the weapons that police have, they have been systematically abusing their power in communities of color. So let's not get confused. This isn't about what weapons they have. This is about a mindset. This is about a mindset that devalues black life.
Yes.
When did it become okay in the United States of America to try, convict, and execute on the street black people? When did that become okay?
Not okay. Never.
When did it become okay in the United States of America for police to just willy-nilly say, I was scared?
It's not okay.
And that's why I shot him 28 times. When did that become okay in the United States of America?
It's not okay.
I don't want you to get confused, because I understand they're asking the federal government to investigate the latest killing, Michael Brown. But I don't want you to get confused. Who do you think gave those military weapons to the police department? Don't get confused. This is about whether or not you stand for justice.
Yes.
This is about whether or not you value every
functioning just at the time you kill someone? Let's not be confused.
Let's not.
So what we have here is structures in place that are supposed to protect us all. Somebody made a decision that black life wasn't worth protecting. I want each and every one of you here today, it's fine to come to a rally. It's fine to develop a sign that says, you know, we like black life. That's fine. But here's what you have to do. Anytime you see the police stop one of our children, you need to stop and bear witness. Anytime you see the gang enforcement unit roll up with their 10 officers to stop one black boy on the street, bring your cell phone camera, bring your iPad, and take pictures. It is not enough to be a white ally that sits at home and says, oh, isn't that bad? Isn't that a shame?
That's right.
It's not enough.
No.
It is also not enough for our elected officials to say, well, just come to the legislature, come to the city council, come to the federal courthouse. That is not enough. What we need is courageous leadership in this country. We need courageous leaders that will step in the void and say, not in this community. We value every man, woman, and child in this community, and we will not allow anyone, regardless of your position of power, to take advantage of our kids. And let me tell you something else. Stop being scared of our kids. I walked up to a group of kids today on the Max line smoking weed. All the other adults moved to the end of the platform. I walked into them. I said, young brother, I value your life. Please don't smoke that weed right here. Because if the police come up on you, you may not live through that experience. Do you know each and every one of those young black men said, yes, ma'am. I respect my elders. Yes, ma'am. And they moved across the street to continue their behavior. But the point was, I saw them. I let them know I love them. And I didn't want them to die on the street in Portland. That's what we've got to do. We've got to hug these children. Let them know we value their life. They are killing themselves because they don't think we value them. So it's not enough. I'm glad you all showed up today. But what are you going to do tomorrow? Where are you going to be Monday morning when the halls of City Hall open up? Where will you be? Where will you be when the Justice Department opens up? We have lost too much potential in this community at the hands of police and at the hands of community members who believe they're not valued. Please hug our children. Let them know I love each and every one of them. And I don't want us to lose anybody else. Nobody else.
Nobody else.
Nobody else.
Nobody else.
Nobody else.
Nobody else.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Hands up.
Don't shoot.
Hands up.
Don't shoot.
Hands up.
Don't shoot.
I just want you to know that we can fix this. But it's going to take all of us. It's going to take us looking beyond color. It's going to take us looking beyond class. It's going to take us looking beyond the tattoos. It's going to take us looking at each other eyeball to eyeball saying, you matter. And I will stand with you.
A few years ago, I was driving in North Portland. I was on Wilder Street right around the corner of Wilder and 7th, right across the Ferguson shop, I saw 3 young black boys walking on the sidewalk. I observed probably the oldest one was maybe 14, 15, maximum 16 years old. And the youngest one was probably about 10 or 11. As I was waiting the red light to change, I saw a police cruiser really driving through and literally pull over the curb, almost hitting those boys. I turned quick left turn and I parked my car in front of the FedEx office, Quintana. I monitored across the street. Within a matter of 2 minutes, another police cruiser came. Now we're dealing with 4 police officers. They asked to sit these boys on the middle of the street, spent 20 minutes interviewing them, and finally they let it go. I got out of my car, I went after them. You know where those kids went? They went to the Taco Bell. Next, that's where they were going, trying to get some food.
That's right.
As they were in the line, I went them and I said, can I ask, excuse me, can I ask you a question? Why do you think why the police officer stopped you? Their reaction on their face was, are you dumb or what? I am not joking.
That's what they do.
And they look at me and said, because we're black. That was their response. It's time to change the system. And I want to emphasize, this is a system. It's not individual police officers. Individual police officers are merely symptoms of larger issue, which is the structural and institutionalized racism. That is the problem. So we need to work hard. We need to work together. Whether you're brown, black, white, whatever you are, we are one single community. And until we show our elected officials, our government, our community, that we are no longer standing by where young people are dying, that is when the change is going to happen. Just the way the civil rights movement changed this country. It takes all of us changing and working hard.
The Palestinians who have been living through a brutal assault by Israel issued a statement that's online. They are thinking and they are in solidarity with Ferguson. And they understand that the weapons and the training that the police system have been using at the U.S. border and in Ferguson is funded through Israel, who is also killing Palestinians. So the Palestine justice community is here with Ferguson and here with Portland. Thank you.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Hands up! Don't shoot me, please! Hands up!